We're starting with AEW Dynamite, which was promoted as a season premiere and a fresh start for AEW, and that was clearly the case from the moment fans tuned in. The show started with a new opening video with the song titled Pop by Mikey Ruckus, and the show featured a new stage with colors and a completely different design for the Dynamite logo. In a statement, AEW Executive Vice President and Head of Global Production Michael Mansory said that AEW has a great production team and praised the work of great creative people. Speaking about the new stage, Mansory said AEW listened to the fans who wanted to bring back old school vibes, hence why the new stage features the tunnel scene in AEW's early days. AEW is ushering in a new era, at least from its production side of things, and what did you make to the new opening theme and new stage on this week's show? Last weekend's Revolution event ended with Sting and Darby Allin standing tall as the AEW World Tag Team Champions in the Icons' last match. On the post-show media scrum, Tony Khan announced that the tag team titles have been vacated, and this was made official during Dynamite. Darby Allin appeared on the show and said it was an honor to be part of Sting's last match, and said he refused to replace the legend with somebody else in their tag team. With that said, Allin left his tag team title belt in the middle of the ring and officially relinquished it, though given the glass pane shot at Revolution, it was a miracle Allin made it to Dynamite. This spot went viral as fans debated whether it was necessary, and AEW had plans in place just in case the worst were to happen. Sports Illustrated reports that a rehearsal occurred earlier in the day to see if Allin would be able to make the jump with a doctor on site should something go horribly wrong. The report adds that if the dive went wrong during Revolution, a contingency plan was made which would have seen an alternate finish just featuring the Bucks and Sting. The match proved to be an absolutely stellar showdown as things went according to plan despite the high-risk spot, and Sting was given the send-off that he deserved last week. As we said, this week's AEW Dynamite was billed as a season premiere following the Revolution pay-per-view, and in the days running up to the show, a massive debut was expected. It had been reported in the days prior that Kazuchika Okada was expected to debut on this week's show, and that's exactly what happened. On Dynamite, the Young Bucks were out to make a special announcement, but made sure to rant about losing to Sting and Darby Allin at Revolution. They revealed that they'll be in the tournament to find new champions, and added that Hangman Adam Page had been suspended after attacking referees. In a shocking move, the duo fired Kenny Omega before being confronted by Eddie Kingston, and while the EVPs didn't want to attack the ROH World Champion, Okada was ready for a fight. After teasing he was there to help Kingston, the Rainmaker attacked him to the shock of the fans before the Bucks announced him as the newest member of the AEW roster. With Kazuchika Okada officially on the roster, a lot of new feuds were expected for the former NJPW star, the first of course being with the inaugural AEW Continental Champion. While WWE wanted to sign Okada, the Rainmaker is officially All Elite, and what did you make of his official AEW debut on this week's show? One of the big takeaways from this segment was that Kenny Omega had been fired, and while this is of course in kayfabe, the cleaner wasn't pleased with the news. On Instagram, Omega shared an image of himself looking very unimpressed, seemingly in response to his termination by the Bucks on Dynamite. It's still unclear when Omega will recover from his diverticulitis, but once he's healed, he'll have to work on getting a job back with AEW, thanks to his former Elite allies this week. Dynamite also saw Christian Cage on commentary for the match between Killswitch and Daddy Magic, and watched over as the latter got attacked by the Patriarchy. This match came about as Killswitch and Daddy Magic had a fight at Revolution during the Daniel Garcia vs. Christian Cage TNT title match. Daddy Magic, aka Matt Menard, was aggressive as soon as he hit the ring, and while he took the fight to his larger opponent, it was short-lived. A chokeslam clothesline combo ensured Killswitch the win, and this was hardly a match, but we did get an appearance from Garcia, ready to defend his friend who has defended him before. Nick Wayne and Killswitch took Garcia down as Christian and Mother Wayne cheered from the commentary table, and as we said, Cage was happy to watch a beatdown on Daddy Magic. Just at that moment, as they retreated, Adam Copeland made his shocking return to AEW weeks after being taken out by Cage, but Cage just managed to escape in a car. In a fierce piece to camera, Copeland revealed that he will be facing Cage in an I Quit match for the TNT Championship in 2 weeks on the March 20th edition of Dynamite in Toronto, Canada. Copeland is a former TNT champion, though his reign was cut short thanks to Cage and Killswitch, and we'll have to see if the Rated R superstar can reclaim the gold later this month. What do you make of this upcoming match? Will Copeland finally get his revenge on his former best friend and win the TNT title? Let us know in the comments below. Over to WrestleMania, as fans are hoping to see John Cena, as it was recently reported that the 16-time WWE World Champion hopes to do something at WrestleMania 40. Cena is often dressed to the nines when he does media appearances, in stark contrast to his usual jorts and shirt look in WWE, and now John has once again teased a Mania role. On First Take, Ryan Clark asked John Cena if he prefers jorts or a suit, and said that if they're talking WrestleMania 40, that he hopes to be wearing jorts at the show. This not only confirms that Cena hopes to do something at the event, but suggests he plans to wrestle, though there's no word on who he could be facing in Philadelphia. Before WrestleMania, WWE will host its annual Hall of Fame, and this month has seen not one, but two names confirmed for this year's class. After Paul Heyman's announcement a few days ago, it was confirmed yesterday that Bull Nakano will be inducted this year for her contributions to wrestling. In WWE, Nakano gained fame for her feud with Alundra Blaze in the mid-90s, a feud that had seen Nakano win the WWF Women's title in the Tokyo Dome at an All Japan Pro Wrestling event. Through an interpreter, Nakano told ESPN she has always wanted a spot in the WWE Hall of Fame, and clearly was excited about her upcoming induction. These days, Nakano is the commissioner for the all-women's Subukan promotion that recently launched, but fans will soon be calling the commissioner a WWE Hall of Famer. We've got some concerning news now regarding Daniel Rodimer, who fans may recall from the 2004 season of Tough Enough that includes the likes of The Miz, Ryback, and The Boogeyman. According to KSNV News 3 Las Vegas, Rodimer is currently wanted for open murder and is sought in connection with a homicide from October 29th at Resorts World in Las Vegas. While he didn't win Tough Enough, he was later signed to a developmental contract and competed in Deep South Wrestling and FCW from 2006 to 2007. In more recent years, Rodimer has ventured into politics as he ran for the Nevada State Senate in 2018 as a Republican, but was unsuccessful. A bid for Nevada's 3rd Congressional District in 2019 was unsuccessful, and in 21, he tried his luck in Texas, still as a Republican, but again came up short. That 2021 campaign saw Rodimer get some attention on social media as he changed his accent and persona to try to insinuate that he had always been in the Lone Star State. Rodimer's faced accusations of assault on 3 separate occasions, although he's never been convicted, and will continue to follow this very serious situation for further updates. It's been 41 days since Vince McMahon resigned from WWE for the second time in his life, and given he forced his way back in 2023, this second departure has left many on edge. There is a fear among some fans that McMahon will force his way back into WWE, undoing all the positive work the company's been doing in the process, but that simply won't be happening. That's according to TKO COO Mark Shapiro, who during a talk at the Morgan Stanley conference reiterated that McMahon is gone and that he is not coming back. WWE and TKO have made great efforts to distance themselves from McMahon, whose face is blurred in the WWE 2K24 video game's WrestleMania Showcase mode. In the promo video for the WrestleMania 39 Women's Triple Threat, McMahon's face is blurred in archive footage from when Charlotte Flair replaced Becky Lynch in the main event bout. Of course, Lynch would be re-added to the match that included Ronda Rousey, and the narrator says that WWE replaced Lynch with Flair instead of mentioning Vince McMahon. WWE 2K24 celebrates 40 years of WrestleMania, but despite McMahon having a pivotal role at the show, don't expect to see much of him in the game, or in WWE, ever again. Back to Dynamite, which opened with Tony Schiavone interviewing Swerve Strickland about coming up short in the AEW World Title Triple Threat at Revolution. Strickland vowed to keep pursuing Samoa Joe, which brought out the AEW World Champion, and the pair did some trash talking, which saw Swerve dare Joe to defend his title there and then. It looked like Joe was going to do it before the Undisputed Kingdom came out with Adam Cole, claiming that Joe is only the champion because he has allowed it to happen. This ended up leading to Swerve and Joe taking on Mike Bennett and Matt Taven in a tag match, which featured the usual odd couple dynamic with Joe and Swerve. At times, they were trying to one-up each other before Strickland got the win over Taven after 5 minutes, and the action was good, but with the short run time, there wasn't enough. Joe choked out Swerve as Wardlow looked on from the ramp just to prove a point, with the All-Star Scramble winner making it clear he's eager to hold AEW's richest prize. Team Taz alum collided when FTW champion Hook defended against Brian Cage, who always has cool gear for his matches, usually with some pop culture theme. The fact that Cage has never had a big push in AEW outside of his run in ROH as one of the 6-man tag champs is wild, and you'd think this guy should have at least had a TNT title reign by now. The more matches Hook has, the more he sells for his opponents, as he's gone from squashing everyone to being able to have good competitive performances. Cage was a great foil because he makes everyone look like an underdog due to his gigantic physique, intimidating presence, and unreal agility for a man of his size. This made Hook's efforts to fight back even better, and the way Cage went through the barricade looked especially good. Since FTW rules mean there are almost no rules, we saw plenty of weapons in the ring, and this match was to evoke the memories of ECW, but it is almost impossible to replicate that level of violence and crowd energy. The bout was good, but the finish was the best part. Despite being dropped onto a pile of tacks, Hook refused to release Red Rum and won the match. Toa Leona and Khan attacked Hook out until Chris Jericho made the save in another exciting outing from the FTW champ. Now, WWE are all in when it comes to social media, and within the past couple of hours, hit 100 million subscribers on the company's YouTube channel. Their popularity on the video service is more than twice the subscribers of NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL put together, and this YouTube channel has the influence to affect WWE shows. In an interview with Sportico, WWE's Vice President of Digital Content, Steve Barban, revealed that the company keeps their social media game in mind even when the storylines are written. The belief is that there should be something interesting enough in every match that is worth sharing in a YouTube video. Clearly, this strategy has paid off over the near 17 years since WWE launched the channel in May 2007, and it'll be interesting to see how the channel affects stories in the years to come. Riho and Kris Statlander made their way out for a match with Stokely Hathaway at ringside, and getting up to no good as usual. This bout had a good amount of time and kept picking up momentum after a slow start, and the pair earned some "this is awesome" chants as they worked towards the finish. Riho was able to steal the win with a pinning combination reversal after Stoke tried to give Stat a piece of chain in a clever finish from two talented wrestlers. In the main event, Will Ospreay faced Kyle Fletcher in what was billed as another encounter between Don Callis family members, and the pair started with a fast-paced exchange. That saw Ospreay get the upper hand before the ROH TV champ turned things around with a stiff Irish whip that made Ospreay grab his injured back. The match only had the last 15 minutes of Dynamite, but was packed with plenty to like as the pair kept a solid pace and hit some big spots. They went into overtime by going past the end of the hour and ended up going over 20 minutes in total before Ospreay got the win to end a fantastic encounter days after his banger with Takeshita. As they shook hands, Bryan Danielson came down to the ring and had a brief stare down with Ospreay to end the show, teasing something big to come. This was an exciting end to AEW Dynamite, but the fun didn't stop then, as Bryan and Ospreay had some dueling chants after the show. Following the event, the pair climbed onto turnbuckles with spirited "yes" and Ospreay chants in what was described as a friendly competition, according to a source in attendance. The prospect of Danielson vs. Ospreay is a dream match, one fans may not have to wait long to see, and expect magic in the ring when these two finally collide. This was a solid Dynamite that moved storylines forward and included standout matches, and keeping Swerve in the title picture with his match with Joe was a good way to kick things off. Seeing Riho and Stat get so much time was nice, and Cage and Hook gave us a little bit of violence, but Ospreay and Fletcher easily stole the show in the main event. Teasing a potential feud between Ospreay and Danielson is definitely going to have people talking, especially if we don't have to wait until the next pay-per-view to get their first encounter. More from AEW Revolution, as the show was a hit with wrestling fans, as seen with the event's gate that surpassed over $1 million. That's from a report by Venues Now, who added that the show garnered 16,118 fans in the Greensboro Coliseum, and there was an average ticket price of $55. The average merchandise cost was $21.64, with much of the merch sales being around Sting's final match, and it's hard to ignore the success of the final pay-per-view of the Stinger's career. It was back in December that Charlotte Flair suffered an ACL tear that'll keep her out of action for most of 2024, but fans will get a chance to see the Queen very soon. In a tweet by WWE, it was revealed that Flair will be at the WWE World event on April 6th, the day of WrestleMania Sunday, and that VIP meet and greets are available right now. WWE World is the promotion's 4-day convention in the style of WrestleMania Access, and who do you hope to see the Flair face when she's back from her injury? In 2019, Jim Ross joined All Elite Wrestling in a huge get for the promotion, and while his commentary has sometimes missed, JR remains a leading voice for AEW. During the latest episode of Grilling JR, Ross disclosed that he has inked a fresh deal with AEW, as his previous contract was due to expire on February 14th. JR called it a completely new deal and the easiest negotiation I've ever done in my career of 50 years, and said it's all thanks to Tony Khan's commitment to him as a broadcaster. JR said he'll be doing more work when he's back, adding that the contract is for another year and that everything from the length to the pay was to his liking. JR was on commentary for the last 2 matches at Revolution, which includes Sting's final bout, and fans will get to hear much more from good old JR thanks to this brand new deal.